Yeah, so you can expect lap times close to 2 minutes here. It's also quite difficult to get a bolus around these first bends especially, because you also have to try to use the boost you have available basically at the start. So you want to boost as much as you can there, and it's quite tricky to do that while controlling bolus. And yeah, you saw Galeforce took a very long jump there, which is the best route.
Oh, we've had
You,
Gauntlet in a few of these matches.
and as you can probably see, Nektarn somehow got his boost cancelled on the off-road, and that hurt him a ton. Let's see how much. Yeah, he lost about 5 seconds just because he couldn't boost down the off-road. It shows you how important it is.
Yeah, going only like 500 kilometers instead of 1,000, it's quite a penalty.
Yep. Oh, you see Galeforce almost not making it in there. It could have been a crash. And I think Nektarn made up a little bit of time here, but I think it's because no, actually, not quite sure where he made the time up, but he definitely did make up some. And there we see first crash and the infamous gravity tube. Nektarn survives the rock. He actually destroys the rock, so maybe getting a little bit lucky there. But Bolus is basically the pod that can take the hardest beating in the game.
Yeah, a lot of players like to just disable the in-game music because YouTube will just flag the audio no matter what, even if you play on the N64 version.
Yeah, that can be quite annoying indeed. I gotta say though, personally, I also disable it because it can be kind of distracting sometimes. So I'd rather have peace and quiet.
At
But
least
yeah,
I never discovered it to create lag.
I don't think it does. Yeah, both of them still keeping it quite close here. The difference is about 3 to 4 seconds, and
Considering this is such a long track.
there goes the lead for Nektarn. I think the first time in this match he's taking the lead here, because Galeforce didn't quite make the entrance there after the roundabout. So yeah, both approaching the tube for the second time here. Let's see how it goes. And Nektarn, yeah, he's clipping the rock. And both die in the tube. That's why you might want to consider running at least one additional AI racer with you while doing this track in time trial or in a tournament like this, because the AI can actually destroy these rocks for you. So that's quite helpful. Galeforce going risky here, wanting to hold the boost as long as he can, but paying the price here with a crash. It's looking really good for Nektarn now.
So will his pick of Gauntlet pay off?
Could be. So far, let's see how big the lead is after the off-road terrain here. It's 425 for Nektarn. That's about 6 seconds. That's basically one crash away from being completely even here. So Nektarn just needs to keep it clean here to tie it up 1-1. Let's see how he does. Oh, the same mistake. The same mistake that Galeforce did one lap before. But he's still in the lead, though. He still has about, I would say, maybe 2 seconds of the lead here, approaching the last gravity tube.
Oh, if Nektarn can get this gravity tube clean, he will win.
Yeah, most definitely. It all comes down to this. I think he has it. Yeah, and Galeforce crashing, that seals the deal. Nektarn ties it up. 1-1.
So we're at 1-1.
Yeah, that's what I like to see, honestly.
So again, we'll get a temporary pot ban, temporary track ban, and then Galeforce picks a track. Oh, and is that some love for Wipeout 64 in the chat? That's so nice. I love that game.
So yeah, just waiting for the bends here. And we see a bullseye bend.
Bullseye is the character with the amazing controls that you use in some of the Barunda tracks. And Saga Challenge is banned. Not exactly a bullseye track, anyway.
Yeah, not at all. So let's see which track is next. What do you expect to see here now from Galeforce?
Wouldn't please a Barunda track. That's what I would want.
The Grapevine is banned, so we're
I
not
know,
gonna
but
see that.
there are others.
Yeah, I think there are 3 others actually. It's Inferno, Fire Mountain, and Baru Coast. And
Baru Coast.
You're getting a rich? We're going to Baru Coast.
Okay, this will be interesting. What characters they will choose? The loyalty counters. No, that's the score.
Yeah, we're gonna see Baru Coast and no Bullseye, so it's gonna be interesting. Are they both going for Ben? Do you think Nektarn is going for Ben? Because I think Galeforce will.
Yeah, if they can handle him.
I mean, you can see Galeforce has a sub 4 on Ben, so yeah, I think Galeforce can handle him. But yeah, what is it going to be for Nektarn? What is he going to take?
Bowls or I don't see a reason why you would go for bowls if you can use Ben.
Not really, but he is. Let's see. I mean, can work out, but Ben definitely has the advantage here.
Does he think Ben is banned?
No.
So let's see which planeswalker will take this one.
And yeah, Ben is technically the fastest here, but he is extremely difficult to make work on this track because you have to hold your boost through these difficult corners, as you can see Gale attempting here. Not quite making it, but making the very long jump. And should put him slightly ahead. We're basically almost synced already, so I think this should be fine.
I actually don't
Never mind
remember
getting it right. Alright,
ever
perfect.
having seen Bowls versus Ben here.
I think neither have I. Yeah, that's the first crash approachingly happened, but you can see how clean Gale goes through here. That's definitely well practiced, look at this. Very clean hairpin section. But you can see both of them are struggling to boost at all in these sections, and that is where you can gain the time. If you can manage to just boost that little bit longer there, then it's basically already time made up, because it's so hard to boost there, especially with these two big bots. And 123 first lap, that's pretty solid. Yeah, that's already a 9-second lead. That's a big lead. And yeah, you can see how much shorter Nektarn has to cut this long jump, because he doesn't have as much speed going over it as Galeforce has on Ben here. So Galeforce can cut that whole bit of the track at the front there just by jumping over the large gap. And again, incredibly tricky to get through here and still put in a lot of boosts in this last section that Galeforce is going through right now.
Why is Galeforce on its side? The tilting, you mean? Tilting is a very useful mechanic. It changes your hitbox, so you can sometimes make it across corners where it would normally be too tight, and you can keep the boost longer, for example, or avoid typical crash sections where you seemingly crash for no reason.
Yeah, it's very useful for, especially, just as Andy said, just reducing your hitbox in tight areas, and also everyone that played this game probably knows these random sections on the floor that seem to kill you for just no reason, but it's actually not random. It's just sections that you basically have to remember, and most of them you can avoid by just doing what Gale does a lot here sometimes, which is tilting your pot to the side. Yeah, we're already on lap 3, and it's quite a sizable lead here for Galeforce. I kinda expected this already, because you don't just get a sub 4-minute time on this track without having put in the practice here. And you can see that paying off for Galeforce right now. Coming onto the finish hairpin here. It's not a straight, it's more like a finish hairpin, as you see. With a 407. Really good
Nice.
race time. Probably the best race time we've seen so far on Baru Coast, if I'm not mistaken. That's a convincing win. Let's see what Nektarn does here to bounce back. And yeah, right away here, getting the Ben Quadinaris Ben. So that's off the table. And Inferno taken out by
The second
Galeforce.
set of tracks we have had invitational, amateur, and semi-pro already. So the only one set we're missing is Galactic Circuit.
Well, maybe we get a Galactic track now.
Inferno band. They just banned Ben and his favorite track.
Okay, we're going to Scrapper's Run.
The shortest of the Ordi banner tracks. Wait a second, the second Podracer is the sequel. The sequel does not have many runners.
Yeah, the sequel is much more focused on actually crashing out other opponents.
And most of the characters are no longer in the game.
Right, the players got the countdown. We should be getting into this track.
We're seeing Bullseye versus Bowls Roar.
Well, if you keep it clean here with Bolus and don't underheat, then you definitely win versus a Bullseye. But it's easy to make a mistake. So, we'll see.
This tube at the beginning is kind of similar, tunnel is similar to the Uwu tubes, but it's not really anti-gravity.
No, it's not anti-gravity, but it gives you the same kind of natural speed up. And there's a crash on Nektarn at the end of the lap. That's costly. I think they were kinda even before that.
And dying here with Bullseye, that's not good.
No, not at all. Because he already has the disadvantage, so he can't afford crashing it. Oh, but Galeforce is also crashing, so I think Galeforce is still slightly ahead. Yeah, but it's very close to even now, so... But you can see, Nektarn crashed once, Galeforce crashed twice, and Galeforce is still slightly ahead. So that's the power of Bolus here.
Yep. Bowls is one of those characters that many racing games have. Just put a huge engine onto a refrigerator.
He falls off the track while trying to make the boost. That's huge, because that means Nektarn takes the lead here. As you can see, it's like about a second, maybe two.
Yeah, because you don't instantly die, but you just fly in there.
But
Probably
Bolus can
respawn a bit back there.
Polis can make this up if Galeforce manages to hold some boosts here. I don't think it's enough. I think Nektarn takes it, but it's gonna be close. Gonna be close. 207? Yes, Nektarn takes it. 1.3 seconds difference there.
With bullseye, that's not bad.
Yeah, that was an exciting race. And Nektarn taking it here, tying it up again. It's 2-2. Could be in for a really good one here. But let's see, it's still early.
Oh, we've had one yesterday that went to game 9.
Yeah, that was exciting. We see the bullseye bun coming here, so I'm not surprised.
Closer than Mercedes versus non-Mercedes, but the difference is that most of the time the players ban Mercedes.
Well, and sometimes they can both be Mercedes, so. But yeah, these players seem to be quite close to each other, so it could be anything for a very exciting match here. And Fire Mountain Rally banned, so we're not going to see that for the next track at least.
And bullseye would be useful there. Playing a Adobe Mountain Run without bullseye, so Ben Quadinaros is the obvious choice.
Once again, yeah. And I think that's what Galeforce wants here.
So yeah, you're seeing Mercedes versus Mercedes this time.
Are you sure? Maybe Nektarn opts for a different pick again, because last time he went for Bolas instead of Ben.
I guess Mercedes versus Ferrari.
I'm sure Nektarn will go for Ben. As you can see, 403 PB with Ben here, and Nektarn's PB is on bullseye, so it's going to be a rough one for Nektarn here. As to be expected on the counter pick, I guess. And
yeah, it's the Bowls Ditto. That's Ben, obviously. Ben.
yeah, we got to see 8 engines at once. That's pretty cool.
This is pod racing.
And it looks like we're getting into it. A very nice starting boost there from both players, but Galeforce hitting the wall and crashing. That's 5 seconds lost at least.
Nektarn taking the lead.
Let's see if he does the long jump here. Yes, he does, as you would expect. So does Galeforce.
You are correct. Fatsang is not too great.
And getting the sync in, and we can see they're basically even now, even though Galeforce crashed. So that might be an indication already for what might be happening here.
This is the PC version. Nektarn having a rough time in the canyon.
Yeah, getting a red engine there. And it's on the right side too, so kinda hurts him here if he hits the tent. No, he doesn't. He makes it in very clean.
Now got boosting through a really tight tunnel with ice physics throughout.
Yeah, it's tricky, and it's actually much easier to hold the boost there if you tilt your bot, because
Yeah,
then you can
PC
actually slightly hit the walls and still hold the boost.
The PC version has a lot less lag and the controls are more flexible, so you can just bind nose down to a different key, so you can easily boost into corners.
Yeah, the charging boost in corners is the main reason why most PC times are a lot faster than their N64 counterparts. Yeah, it's still pretty close here. I honestly wouldn't have expected it. I thought Galeforce would take this by a margin, but Nektarn is not defeated yet here. He can still make it back. It's not
Right.
that big of a
So
difference.
far, the players always won the track they picked.
Yeah, and Galeforce won the first match, so that's a little bit of an advantage here to him if it keeps going like this. But it's close. Nektarn is keeping this close. It's one crash from Galeforce and Nektarn will be right there, and there it is. Just as I said.
Ace, what's the natural FPS if you just don't alter it on PC?
It actually differs. That's the thing. Like,
Isn't it just uncapped?
yeah, it depends on what system you're on. It depends on what version you're on. Like, we don't actually know what the each frame rate on a PC would be if you just would install
On
the game there.
N64,
Usually,
it's just locked to 24.
yeah, on PC usually it's either 60 or 30, depending again on the system and also sometimes on the game version, because the game is sometimes a little janky when running it on PC. But yeah, this is, I think Galeforce has this, but Nektarn kept it real close here. It's a difference of about 4 seconds, I think. 4:12 here, and yeah, 4:16, 4:17 for Nektarn. So 3-2 Galeforce.
You talk about 24 FPS, that's so terrible. Yeah, I played PAL Ocarina of Time as a kid, and that's below 20.
Yeah, I think on the N64 version, if you play on Grapevine Gateway, sometimes it can drop below like 20 frames or even lower. So that's the lag you were talking about earlier. So that can be quite annoying. Yeah, we're going into track 6 here, getting the temporary bans from the players. And the temporary pot ban for the next track is going to be Ben Cordinaros, taken out by Nektarn here. Let's see which track will go.
I still love the N64, my favorite console.
Yeah, definitely has a nostalgia factor.
Just the controller, great. Just give me a better stick, and the rest I find good.
Okay, Abyss taken out by Galeforce, that honestly surprises me a bit. But okay, we'll see.
I was actually surprised that Abyss wasn't a global ban.
Yeah, but the reason I say it surprises me is because Galeforce has a very good PB on the full track on the Abyss. I think he's second, just about 3/10 away from the record. Yeah, let's see where Nektarn takes us for the next track.
Maybe something in Mongasa. No,
No, it's Duck
Duck
Derby.
Derby.
I like Duck Derby. I really like this. I wanted to see this in the tournament.
Short
I don't
and
think we have
intense.
seen it yet. Or maybe we've seen it once. But yeah, it's short and very technical, especially if you use Ben here, but Ben is bent. So we're not going to see that, which... Yeah, I expect to see a bullseye now from Nektarn. And I don't know what Gale is going for here. If he's brave enough to try Bolus or maybe Mahonic, maybe Mars. Can all work here.
He has the midichlorian count to use any character.
It's a bullseye mirror though. On Duck Derby.
Ah, bullseye versus bullseye.
Yes, it's probably the safest bet here, so...
If anyone
makes
wants to
sense.
try this game as a speed game, you can compete with any version. You can join our community Discord.
Yeah, that's definitely the best place to go if you like the game or want to learn more about the game. I think the best way to find it from here is just over the speedrun.com site, because I don't think we have a link for that in here. So, but you can find it easily over the game's speedrun.com site. So
There
you want
was
to go and do
no
that.
PlayStation version of this game. It was planned, but never came out.
Yeah, Duck Derby.
You
I
can
really
explain
like this track. It's one of my personal favorites, especially with Ben. It's, as Andy said before, short and intense. And oh, Nektarn making the mistake here of holding the boost too long and therefore getting launched into the wall. And Galeforce clipping the chicane. This corner looks simple enough, but it's extremely tricky if you approach it at a high speed, especially if you're just coming out of the boost. So yeah. Very slight lead for Nektarn. About 6/10 here. And he has learned from lap 1, doesn't do it again. Keeps it clean here. Galeforce is on his tail though. Again, having slight problems here with the chicane. Galeforce clipping the wall a bit, losing some speed.
This game is somewhat unique in its genre. That's the reason why it's so beloved by many of the people that played it back then. And it still has an active speedrun community.
I see them coming both to the finish straight here, and I think Nektarn has it. It's tied again. It's only 1.5 second difference, but Nektarn takes it and ties it up again. So yet again winning on the counter pick.
No one with the break yet.
Yeah, this is kind of reminding me of the match from last night where we went to game 9. So maybe we can do it again. Still 2 tracks away from that game 9 though.
Okay, bullseye banned this time.
Yet again, Galeforce taking out bullseye. We also see Fire Mountain Rally banned from Nektarn. So where are we going for the next track? . we're going to Howler Gorge. So
That's the basically shorter version of Adobe Mountain Run that we already saw.
yeah, it's very similar to Adobe Mountain Run, but the ending half is a little bit different, and it's a little bit easier, but they're still quite similar.
And considering that we started on Beatles Wild Ride, this is our third Endo Prime track. Yes,
Yeah,
the
good
loser
catch.
picks the track.
Galeforce really seems to like these snow maps here.
And also bans the Podracer.
Yeah, we're gonna see a Ben Mirror again.
And we could still see Enter Prime Centrum.
Technically, that's still open, yes. And Nektarn opting for the bolus again, so he doesn't seem to like Ben.
He's confident with the yellow guy.
Is it really the smart choice here, though? I mean, sure, if you're that much more confident on bolus than on Ben, then go for it. But you will have a disadvantage here. Because he knows Galeforce is 100% playing Ben.
The banning rules are that after the very first race, each player gets 2 tracks to ban globally. And then after each race, and after that first race too, we get a temporary pot ban and a temporary track ban.
Yeah, exactly. The loser always gets a temporary pot ban for the next track, and the winner gets a temporary track ban for the next track, and then the loser chooses the next track out of the remaining tracks in the pool. And the pool is all tracks in the game, obviously.
And it's kind of the agreement to not use skips, but they technically could.
Yeah, if they both agreed beforehand that skips are okay, then they are free to do so. But as soon as one player says no, I don't want skips, it just defaults to no skips. So
Galeforce with a 111 opener.
yeah, that's very solid. I mean, it's
Clean
maybe
into the tent too.
Maybe 1 second off of his PB here with I think his PB has a 110 first lap, if I remember correctly. So really solid play here, and you can see he has a huge lead already over Nektarn.
This game is the good thing the Phantom Menace gave us.
This is gonna take a lot of mistakes from Galeforce to still give it out of his hand here.
You can also speedrun this game as RTA, one of the circuits, like any percentage galactic circuit, but there's also semi-pro, amateur, or you do a 100%.
Yeah, this game's any percent is basically just beating the galactic circuit from a new save file, because that kind of triggers credits. So yeah.
Galeforce is looking so good.
Yeah, really solid here. Holding the boost there by utilizing little mountain slope while tilting. Very nice trick. Yeah, it very much looks like the pattern keeps repeating itself, which is the one that counterpicks wins on his counterpick. Because yeah, there's no way Gale loses this. Like, he can crash 2 times and still win. No.
Even if Nektarn played Ben too, it would have been really tough to keep up.
Wow, 324.
This is amazing.
Yeah, look at that consistency. 111, 106, 106. Very nice howler there. And yeah, you're probably right. Even if he picked Ben, he probably wouldn't have gotten it. But it would have been his best chance, you know? Yeah.
Now, Galeforce gets a match point.
We see Ben Cardinalis taking out again.
The Abyss band again. So Nektarn better choose well with this track.
Yeah, he has to make it count here. There's no room for errors here anymore for him. He has to win 2 straight. And Galeforce has a match point here in track number 8. Which will be the Bunta Eve Classic. A surprise, and it will be without Ben Cardinalis.
In this game, it's not that obvious with one best character for everything. In this game, it depends a lot on the situation.
Yeah, for example, if you would make a tier list of the pods, then the one for no upgrades would look completely different from the one with full upgrades. And apart from that, some pods just have different strengths, so it really depends a lot on the track which pod is the best, and on the upgrades. But yeah, Bullseye Mirror on the Bunta Eve Classic. It's going to be exciting. I think Galeforce has more practice with Ben here than Bullseye. So, yeah. Let's see. Nektarn needs to take this to stay in for this match.
And yes, this is the track from the movie.
Yes, if you play close attention, then you can probably see some resemblance to the movie track at some point. Especially in the area where the Tusken Raiders shoot at you.
Really need to get this synced.
Oh yeah, one sec.
Very rough start for Nektarn.
Well, there we go, syncing it up. It looks like Galeforce has already quite a big lead here. And it's only getting bigger because Nektarn crashed. Oh, this is rough. You're on a match point and then you have a rough start like that.
He needs to win this or the match will be over.
Yeah. And so far he's... let me actually see once he arrives there, then I can tell you how far behind he is. But Galeforce crashing, so that's a little bit of time he can make up. But he's a solid 10 seconds behind. At least that's the state before the crash. And yeah, this area is what I mean. You can see the flames, which basically represent the Tusken Raiders from the film shooting at the Podracers. And it's RNG, so it can definitely mess you up. Like you see there, as I said, Nektarn gets hit by the flame and thrown into the wall by it.
Oh, what did it just have fire on both engines?
That can happen sometimes, but I don't quite know when that happens.
Those engines pretty much work independently for the damage.
Oh yeah, Nektarn is trailing behind here by 11 to 12 seconds. Also not quite taking the optimal route here. This is looking tough. You need Galeforce to make mistakes here, or this will be really tough to come back. And Galeforce is looking solid. There's one crash. It's not enough to make it up for Nektarn. Like, Galeforce needs to crash 2 more times at least for Nektarn to be back in contention here.
You said Nektarn practiced this track quite a bit.
Yeah, both of these guys are currently 1 and 0 in the Swiss bracket, but that's gonna change. One of them is gonna be 2-0 and one of them is gonna be 1-1. And so far, Galeforce is looking really good here to take it on the Bunta Classic.
Oh, crashing into the sand crawler. That thing will change its position each lap.
Yeah, it's basically on a cycle. But yeah, this track is one of the hardest in the game. Many players rank it in their top 3, and not in their top, if not in the top 3, then at least in the top 4 or 5 usually. Just because it's so long and so difficult and dangerous, as you see.
It's just try playing this, getting 2 deathless laps, crash once in lap 3, and you will be overtaken. Unless you were really, really fast.
But yeah, it would need a huge collapse here from Galeforce to not win this race. And with it, the match. But again, we are not yet in the elimination phase, so there's no risk for anyone to be eliminated even if they lose. It's still the Swiss bracket, so yeah, everyone still has a chance. It's a little bit of a long fire there from Galeforce.
Those Tuscan Raiders surely have their fun today. Just because at this point in the timeline they haven't met whiny teenage Anakin yet.
Well, they could if we would actually play. But yeah, Galeforce running it up with a 540 Bunta Classic. Taking the match. 5-3.
GG.
So, GG. But yeah, I think we can get them here for a short interview and hear what they have to say about this great match. And there we have Galeforce. Congrats on your win.
Thank you.
And hello, Nektarn. That was a great match, guys. That was really enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were a lot of close ones.
Yeah, it went back and forth. Usually, you guys won on your counter pick, and then it went no Ben, and then no Bullseye, and then no Ben. It was exciting, definitely.
Yeah, well, I figured I had to ban Bullseye.
Yeah, it was probably a smart move.
So this final race was the first time one of you realized a break, as I like to call it. winning on the counter pick. So we've seen a few Ben versus Bowls Roar. So Nektarn, do you prefer using Bowls?
No, I can't really play any pod except Bullseye. So, I mean, yeah. I've pretty much only played Bullseye and EB Endicott. So,
Because I was wondering why you would sometimes choose Bowls Roar for tracks where you could have gone with Ben Codineros, because Bowls is harder to use if you have Ben available.
yeah, I guess. I can't really play Ben. I tried a couple of times, but I always crash and I don't really know how to take tight turns.
I mean, he needs some time to get used to. But it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
But you did really well on Bullseye, though. Gotta definitely give it to you there. You did really well on your counter picks. Took the Bullseye and made it count. Not quite. 5-3 in the end, but it was a close match, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, both of you still have, I think, 3 matches left in the Swiss bracket, so...
Good luck to you guys.
Nothing over from
you.
here.
We play with all the upgrades we want in this tournament.
But yeah, if does anybody have anything else to add? Or
I don't think so.
No, good games.
GG.
I enjoyed it.
It was
well,
fun.
then I thank you both for the close race, and thank you, Andy, for joining me here. And of course,
thank you for the commentary.
Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for Speed Gaming for hosting this. And see you for the next race, which will be tonight, I believe, yes. Tonight at 8 p.m. EDT. I'm not quite sure on which Speed Gaming channel it is. You can check out the schedule by using the command in the chat.
Should be Speed Gaming 6.
Speed Gaming 6, alright. Speed Gaming 6 at 8 p.m. EDT. And there you can see Mages versus Herald. So, yeah, if you want more pod racing, tune in. And see you next time.
See ya.